Over the years, Kenya has experienced devastating food shortages which have gone to claim many lives. And yet, according to the United Nations, 50% of food grown in sub-Saharan countries such as Kenya goes to waste annually due to poor infrastructure, lack of support services, and inefficient food systems.
Hizi ni zile sasa malicha kitu zimebaki zinakuwa waste. Ng'ombe zinakuwa.
Moreover, urbanization and a rising middle class is fueling a demand for resource-intensive foods that deplete our agricultural resources and that still end up getting wasted. What can we do to increase the efficiency of our food systems while ensuring a food-secure nation? There is currently no precise or concrete data on the amount of food wasted in Kenya. But the fact is, a vast amount of food is being wasted or lost between the famine folk daily in this country, where about 10 million people are said to be suffering from food shortages. Hi, I'm Esther, and this is Project Green. So it's about lunch hour, and I'm in a food establishment in the city. And what we want to see is just the amount of leftover food we'll manage to collect here by the end of this one meal time. So it's just after lunch hour, and here is our leftover food. So my plan is actually to measure and see in terms of kilograms how much we've managed to collect. So let's check it out. That's about 6 kilograms of leftover food. So for a rough estimate, let's multiply 6 kilograms of leftover food by a conservative estimate of 100 eateries in Nairobi City. Multiply that by 30 for a monthly figure, and then by 12 for the annual estimate. That's an estimated 200,000 kilograms, or about 200 tons of leftover food thrown out by eateries in the city in one mealtime annually. Since 2008, Kenya has been facing severe food insecurity problems. A huge number of the population has no access to food in the right quantities or quality. And yet, despite this, a vast amount of food goes to waste daily across the country, from the household to corporate level. For instance, we managed to capture images of the disposal of leftover food from airlines. The National Airport Services also disposes of uneaten airline food if flights are cancelled or rescheduled, or if the food temperatures are higher than the required levels. This food is chartered down into trash lorries, ending up at the Dandora dump site. So it's about 6 a.m. and I'm at the Dandora dumping site. This is a time when trucks carrying food waste from the airport come to dump here. Now, as you can see, this perfectly fine food that I've managed to collect from this one truck. And as you can see, there's a lot of scrumming going on as they try and find some food bits here and there. So this is just perfectly fine rice. As you can see, clearly a whole pack of uneaten food. Perfectly fine veg and fruit as well. All that ending up right here in this dump site. So I can see some rice in there, some stew. It actually says chicken curry on the packet. Nini Guinea pocketed sugar. We have these are some toothpicks. Nini
tissue.
Oh, kulikuwa tissue hapo ndani.
Kuna pilipili na chumvi.
This is salt, pepper. I mean, perfectly fine. I mean, this is something that would have easily been preserved or stored for later use.
Hapa kuna juice ya apple.
This is like almost a half a packet of juice. It's apple juice. This is about a liter of milk, fresh milk. It's unopened. Street families and street kids swarm here daily to scavenge for daily rations of food. There are no mechanisms in place to ensure that surplus food is hygienically and efficiently donated to vulnerable members of society without extra cost to the donor. Therefore, companies and individuals opt for the cheapest and hassle-free alternative, the dump site.
Na feel bado mbaya juu unaweza pata imeletwa na uchafu ingine hapo mbaya. Sasa mimi nataka mulete gari safi.
Sasa unajua hii chakula tunaitumia, lakini kwa vile inakuja ikiwekwa na ghasia mingi. Sasa tunachagua tu sababu hatuna shida na inatusaidia, tunatumia.
So it is estimated that this place receives about 2,000 tons of solid waste on a daily basis, an uncertain amount of which is food waste. So that food is not only ending up in the environment, clearly in a landfill space that we've already ran out of, but it's also breaking down and releasing toxic gases into the environment, such as methane, which is actually 23 times more potent a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. Perennial clouds of smoke cover the Dandora dump site due to the phenomenon of landfill fires that ignite themselves.
It is a unique characteristic associated with the biodegradable waste. Food, kitchen food, household waste, leaves, fruit peels, all of these put together. Rotting is a kind of substance that undergoes that kind of reaction. Besides, we have the hydrocarbons now, which is the methane, ethane, propane, and butane, which actually fuels the burning of the substance. Once the fire is triggered by the chemical reaction, the fuel that feeds that fire and makes it continue perpetually to burn is the hydrocarbon, which is the methane and ethane gas.
While food waste happens mostly at the consumption stage in the food chain, food loss happens at the production stage. In African countries such as Kenya, it is estimated that 50% of the food grown especially for export is lost, and mainly due to stringent requirements. So today I'm in a farm about 60 kilometers from Nairobi where they grow French beans for export. Today they're doing a bit of harvesting. And the fact is that not all this crop being harvested here today will make it to the pack house, because some of it is either too thin or too bendy or has thrip marks, some of which I can't quite see. And one like this, which doesn't have a head, if it does make it to the pack house, it won't make it past the pack house. All this perfectly fine, edible food will end up rejected and wasted.
Hizi marks ndizo zinauma, hawa wadudu wanauma.
Unajua easy.
Yeah. Unaona kama hiyo. Hapa. Sasa wakati ule imeuma, hiyo maharagwe hapa huenda ikabend.
Saka hii ni imebend kwa sababu ya trip.
Imeuma, Unaona imeuma.
Uweze enda ukaweka maharagwe imejikunja, lazima ikuwe zote straight, siweze pangwa kwa pamoja. Uweze enda kuforce maharagwe kwa pamoja ikae hivi straight. Kuna mbegu ni reject. Automatically ni reject. Sana huwa inaendana na requirements ya client.
The imposition of these standards not only impoverishes farmers and leads to massive food losses, but also depletes the soils, water and other resources used to grow this food, exacting a huge toll on the environment. So now I want to show you where some of this fresh produce ends up.
Hizi ni zile sasa malicha kitu zimebaki, zile zilikataliwa siende ng'ambo sasa. Kwa hiyo nachukua kama sasa tuseme nachukua mara 4, inakuwa sasa ni tani 4.
All these are rejects. What? Proper food waste. Gone to waste. All this. Imagine. Whichever way we look at it, food waste does not make economic, moral, or environmental sense. What part do you play in all this?